So I want to start out this discussion by saying that today's video is not meant in any way to make myself appear better than anyone in the airsofting community or to put anyone down in particular in the airsofting industry. I, like all of you guys, are human. I have the same emotions that you guys have, whether it be happiness or anger, and a lot of the things that I'm going to talk about in today's video, I'm guilty of myself, because again, I am only human. So today I want to have a one-on-one conversation with myself and you guys to talk about a pretty serious issue in our community, and that is when ego mixes with airsoft. And needless to say, the two don't mix very well together. So it can be a variety of things. Someone could get their ego hurt because someone's cheating on the other team. Someone perceives someone as cheating because, let's be honest, everyone thinks that their airsoft guns shoot laser beams when it doesn't. And there can be a lot of reasons to get upset in airsoft because you play airsoft to have a good time, right? I mean, I've never woken up and say, oh boy, I can't wait to play airsoft to have a bad time and really not enjoy myself. I always wake up in the morning ready to play airsoft because I want to have fun with my friends and have a good time. And people can get upset in airsoft for a variety of reasons. Again, cheating, other players can just be not very much following the rules, not necessarily like calling their hits, but I mean, I've gotten angry and upset at games because people just kept on barrel snuffing me. I mean, there are minimum engagement distance for a reason, whether you agree or disagree with the subject, but they are in place for a reason, and that's so that no one gets hurt. And like myself, when I get someone that walks up to me and shoots me like 2 feet away with their Polar Star, I'm not saying that everyone that uses a Polar Star does this, but after the pain, I get a little upset at that person. I get salty, admittedly. So today I want to talk about some ways that we can kind of help curb this, because besides just cheating, there are people calling each other names. I've had people call each other racial slurs on the airsoft field, and I've had people start fist fights on the airsoft field, and all of these are just absolutely unacceptable in our community, and we as a community need to come together and express that. Allowing this to continue only hurts us. And while there are people who play it off and think it's funny, like, remember Rest in Peace Kid, the kid that got lit up by the Polar Star for burning someone's patch, a lot of people, instead of condemning that, thought it was funny. And there are always going to be those people in the world who see something not necessarily tragic, but people that see something that's bad and find humor in it. And trust me, I like dark humor, but at the same time, there are some things that we need to be serious about. And issues like this in the airsofting community are one of them. Airsoft fights, which are admittedly one of the worst things that we can do in our community, are seen as jokes, and people find them funny and entertaining to watch. And this isn't World Star, so we just need to stop that. However, as much as I am talking about these being unacceptable, they will happen. However, we as a community need to shun those who spread this negative attitude in airsoft. So something that I personally like to do to help avoiding myself become someone that's going to be in one of these situations, if I'm upset in airsoft, I take a break. If something happens, like again, if I get barrel snuffed and it hurts, or someone's just cheating, first off, tell the referee if someone's cheating. Now make sure that you're being descriptive, because I've reffed in games and I've had guys come up to me and say, that guy in multicam is cheating. What guy in multicam? Multicam is the most popular pattern in airsoft. Be descriptive. Say, the guy with the Crytac CRB wearing multicam who has a no step on snake flag on his helmet isn't calling his hits, or at least I think so. Would you mind keeping an eye on him? Or X player who's wearing X gear and has X gun is being aggressive towards other players, because it is a referee's job to make sure that the most amount of people possible, if not everyone, has a good time while they're playing. It is their job. They make money making sure that you are having fun while you play airsoft. And I know there are instances where referees are more favorable to certain players. They could be their friends. However, it really goes a long way giving a detailed description of what a player is doing wrong so that it can be corrected. Now, after that happens, you're still going to be upset. You're still going to be salty. Go sit down. That's what I do. If I ever get upset, sit down, drink some water, eat some food, take off your goggles, breathe a little bit. You're probably fogging a little bit. Just sit down, relax, reload your magazines, and then get back out there. And if it's something that persists, then again, readdress it to the referee, readdress it to other staff members in between games to make sure that something is done about it. Because if you don't do anything about it, you are either not allowing the situation to become better, you might make it worse. Because there are people who will, again, something happens to them that they're upset, they feel humiliated. Like I see a lot of people that get bang killed and feel like they need to go after that person for the rest of the day because they feel humiliated. So if you are not actively trying to make the situation better, you are making the situation worse. And that is something that we just need to accept. It is everyone's responsibility to make sure that these things do not happen while you play. If you see two players that are getting aggressive with each other, find a referee, find the owner, make sure that whatever you do, you are improving the situation, because those two may be having a sour moment. Their sour moment can turn into something that ruins the day for everyone. Because if a fight happens or people are again yelling at each other, calling each other names, they're going to stop the game and they're going to punish those people, because that is what should happen. If you are causing problems for the entire day, you should be punished and sent home. However, by doing that, you're ruining everyone else's time. So if something bad happens on the airsofting field, find a ref, make the situation better, because if you're not actively making it better, you're making it worse. And something that I want to touch on is that a lot of this happens, again, for ego. People think that they're better than other people. And I hope that in this video, I'm not trying to portray myself as that. That is something I really tried hard not to do when thinking about the talking points for this video. I am a loser who plays with toy guns and wears way too expensive gear every Sunday like the rest of you. I say loser lovingly. I absolutely love airsoft, and all I want to do is see it grow and expand. However, you have to realize we're playing a game, and this is something I've come to remind myself, especially when I get angry, to say, hey, you're playing a game, don't get so salty. And I understand that people get upset when people cheat, because for obvious reasons, I guess you could say. People get upset when people cheat. However, we are playing a game, and at the end of the day, the amount that you've spent on your gear or how many Instagram followers you have, that doesn't matter. We are all losers playing adult freeze tag, and that is just something that people need to accept. Do I think that it will happen and everyone will all of a sudden be extra polite to each other and there will never be an issue on the airsoft field again and everyone's going to call all their hits? No, absolutely not. But I think that by starting and addressing these issues and starting not necessarily a movement, but awareness to say that we all need to work together to make this better for everyone, and if someone's having a bad time, we need to address it, I think that can go a really, really far way in terms of airsoft. If you see someone who's having a bad time, talk to them. Say, hey man, what's wrong? Comfort them, make them feel better. Just say, hey, it's not worth it to get angry at this player, or there's no sense in fighting another player. And if you see two people who are about to throw down, after you call the ref, step in. I'm not saying get yourself knocked out, but de-escalate this situation, because again, it's going to ruin it for everyone. And there are places that just don't want to deal with it. And obviously no one wants to deal with it. No one wants to have to babysit airsofters. However, that is the case with a field. You are going to have to babysit your players if you open a field, because airsofters are essentially children. But no one wants to have to deal with that. And that only hurts the entire community, because let's just say you only have one field in your area and that field is prone to issues like fights and name calling and blah, blah, blah. I'll see you in the parking lot, kid. No one's going to want to play anymore. No one wants to go to a hostile environment where they're not going to enjoy themselves. So we all need to work together to assure that that is not going to happen. While it's not going to be completely eliminated, we can all work together to make sure that it happens less. And that is what we need to do. We all need to come together and make airsoft better for everyone. We need to help stop this de-escalation. I mean, come on. We're fighting over toy guns, for God's sake. While some people won't realize just how silly it is to fight over toy guns and to call each other names and things like that, we need level-headed people who are going to help step in. And that's something I like about American Milsim, is that they have their, I believe they call them combat controllers. They're the guys that have the black and white flag on each arm. It kind of looks like the Swedish flag, but it's like a perfect cross instead of it being like that. well, it looks like an IR, Swedish flag, I should say. Those people, while they aren't employed by American Milsim, they're players that the staff of American Milsim knows are going to help them run this and make sure that if there's any issues, they're going to help resolve it. And they act as in-game admins. And I'm not saying that at your local field you need to take control and be like, oh, I'm in charge of everything, because you're not. You are a paying customer, and while you do deserve to have a good time because you are paying, you can't let anyone else have a bad time, per se. You can't think that your good time is worth so much that someone else should have a bad time. And I'm not sure if that's what people who cheat think. I'm not sure if they think, oh, well, I don't have to call it because I want to have a good time. But I think that this is just, I would like this to be a good conversation starter. And if there's something that you guys think would actively help improve Airsoft and things that we could do to help make things less hostile and avoid these situations happening, make sure to let me know down in the comments below, because I'd really like to have a meaningful conversation about this and hopefully have a follow-up video with some of your guys' points discussing things that could really help improve the experience that Airsofters have. And something I think that would go a really long way, however I want to talk about this in a separate video, I think the rules should be read every single time that someone hosts an Airsoft game. American Milsim recently stopped doing their safety briefs, and I think that's a really bad idea because there are people who just won't read them for some reason. Read the rules, guys. Or, I mean, there's just seasoned players who need to be reminded of certain things. I mean, I've been playing Airsoft for a decade, and every once in a while I mess up and I break the rules. I own up to it, that I did it, and I apologize to the person I did it. Or there's places I've been playing at for years, and I apologize. One of the greatest examples that I can think of that everyone will know is last year when Nalvrich got banned from that field. He thought it was in play, it wasn't. He owned up to it, took his ban, and now he plays there again and everything's cool as far as I know. I mean, I'm not personal friends with him, but even really seasoned players can make mistakes, or they can think that something is allowed when it's not. So I think that'd go a really long way. If you guys have any of your own things you'd like to add into that, let me know down in the comments below. I'd like to save the safety briefing thing for its own separate video coming up soon because I have a lot more thoughts on it. But that's really going to wrap up this video. If this was your first time here and you really enjoyed the video, I would love to have you subscribe for more Airsofting content every Tuesday and Friday here on the channel. We do more reviews, we do discussions like this to help improve Airsoft, we do how-tos and things like that, and I would love to have you a part of our community. On the other end of the coin, if you didn't enjoy the video, make sure to let me know. If there's something that you didn't like in this video, I want to know. The only way that I will get better as a content creator is through feedback. Make sure to follow us on social media if you haven't already for Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We do a bunch of content that isn't like anything that we do here on the channel. I like to do a lot of rants on Twitter and opinions, things like that. Instagram, post my cool gear photos, and Facebook, I do smaller reviews that don't make it here to YouTube. So there's definitely something for everyone on each one of our platforms. This has been Lane from the BB Warrior, hoping to start a conversation about Ego and Airsoft and how we can really, truly help improve the experience of Airsoft for everyone and help avoid having incidents while we play. And I will see you all next time.